All right, welcome to Ongoing Volume, episode 10. 10.
Yay, we hit double
Where's the camera?
digits.
We did it! How do you feel, Blade? 10 episodes. Oh, and then, so
Oh.
I'm digital, and then this is Blade.
I am Dragon Name Blade, and I will be king of the pirates. I'm going to be king of the anime and manga streams. I don't know.
World!
I don't want to be king of the world. You kidding me?
Straw hats.
I need a straw hat. Yeah, I need to get a straw hat.
I do. I legit want to get one. Yeah, 10 episodes. So we got some banger topics. So just a quick overview. Blade is going to give us anime news. We have some really exciting stuff, especially near and dear to my heart, and then also both of ours. And then we're gonna be talking One Piece live action.
Yeah, both watch season 2, and yeah, we have decided we want to focus on that for this one. And in case you guys haven't noticed, we are doing something a bit different because we pretty much wanted to just speed through Chainsaw Man to get caught up. And so
really late.
yeah, we did. We realized we messed up recently. One of the bits of news I have is that we have officially ended Chainsaw Man's manga at chapter 232.
Yeah. So at the time of this recording, I blitzed through and I caught up on it, and then I read the latest. Blade is gonna.
I'm about halfway through, and I'll read the rest of it hopefully this week.
But I will just say, and I will be as spoiler free as possible, but the way it ends. That's all I'll say.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Very fun series. I can't wait for you to get through it, and then for us to just go
ham on it.
Yeah, like everything, not one volume. Like, oh my goodness, that'll be a whole episode, for sure. So
I can't wait.
Very fun. Yeah.
I'll blitz through it as fast as I can. Luckily, I only have about 100 something chapters go, and I read through 100 something chapters of One Piece in 2 days, so I think I'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
So news. First thing I have is K-pop Demon Hunters. Have you watched that?
No, I'm actually. You know what I'm gonna do? My son has seen it. My wife has seen it. My dad has seen it. I have not. My wife never was like, "Hey, we should watch this," even though I'm the anime geek between the two of us.
Watch
I'm
it.
a little offended my wife hasn't asked me on that date.
So my fun bit of news with K-pop Demon Hunter is that they have hit McDonald's. They are doing they are doing children's meals. It's now you got the choice of the Huntrix meal. They're doing a battle for the fans type of thing, like they do in the movie if you've watched it. It's a Huntrix meals.
Watch it for next episode.
Is one option. Then the other option is for the Saja Boys breakfast meals. The trailer for it is quite funny.
Okay.
It makes a lot of references to the movie itself. Well, it looked interesting, and I might actually just go there and ask for a kids meal just to see what it's like.
Right? You're like, can I just buy the toy? Like,
you can actually. Most people don't know. Can? Yeah, you can just go to a McDonald's or something and just ask for the toy. You don't have to buy the meal.
And I'll bring my kids. That'll be my excuse.
Yeah, that's true for almost.
I'm taking the toy.
That's true for almost every single restaurant out there. You can usually just ask for the toy if they have it. Okay. Next bit of news: Silent Hill F.
That's a game.
Yeah, that's a game. It is getting a manga adaptation.
Do you know anything about Silent Hill?
Yes. I've watched a lot of people play it. I am not I don't really care for horror games myself, at least playing, because I freak out. But I actually like watching other people play it. I find it kind of entertaining watching other people freak out.
I'm in the same boat. I'll play something like Dead Space because I have a weapon. But if I have to play like Outlast, where I'm like looking through the camera, or something that's just like gonna scare me like for real, like I'm good. Like anyway. Yes, I've never played Silent Hill because That game would creep me out.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked that they're doing a manga adaptation of this. So it was something that I was like, oh wow, didn't
Yeah,
see that one coming.
I've I've heard. So this is how little I know about it. So take it with a grain of salt. But I've seen like the memes where it's like you're on a highway and you can go left to Raccoon City or you can go right to Silent Hill. And everyone always goes Raccoon City
Yes,
because they don't want to go.
deal with the
So I don't know
zombies.
what's
You
so
do not want to
terrifying.
deal with. It's more of mental. It's like
Is
you're
it like
going
demonic or
into
ghosts or
yeah.
okay?
So it's
Yeah, I'll
like
take
you're
zombies.
think of it as like a hell for the person. They're going through their life story in a way, and it's done in like a demonic, uh,
Oh
very
man.
scary way with like everything's foggy, so you have very little vision, and
Yeah.
it is terrifying to watch someone play through. And like
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm
they do
good.
have
Give
some
me the
joke
zombies.
endings later on. Like I love the dog ending in one of them, which I forget which one that's in. But
Okay. Huh.
um, but yeah, it's a there are a set of games I actually would suggest people either watch someone play or because they do have a really good story behind them. I mean, one of
Yeah.
the greatest thing we saw was with PT playable trailer. If I remember, that was
Okay.
for Asylum Hill. If I remember, I'm gonna double check this. I don't want to be wrong.
While Blade's
PT
looking it up,
games.
I'll make a incentive. If this episode on YouTube gets 100 likes, I will go buy that game and I will stream it and it'll be in the dark. Cuz those games, I'm going to be stressed out.
Come on, PT. Yeah, it's a Silent Hill. I'm right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the pre. It was supposed to be a trailer for the newest Silent Hill, right before Hideo Kojima got fired from Konami,
Okay. Hmm.
or he left, or something like that. I don't remember the story exactly with Hideo Kojima, but I know he had a falling out with Konami,
Okay.
and that caused that whole line to go down, which people were really excited because PT was terrifying, and afterwards it was just like they were so excited when they found out it's a new Silent Hill game that it's for and all of a sudden no, it's not happening. Hideo Kojima left for something. They had a falling out, so
Yeah.
yep, they're not getting
Okay.
a PT.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was really sad, but I am excited to see. I want to see some of the old games, uh some
In
newer
this
versions
show?
in this. Yeah, so yeah, that was fun. Next bit
Sweet.
of
That's
news.
exciting.
Yeah,
Sorry.
next bit of news I have. All good. Reincarnated is Dragon Hatchling, which is a series that's on High Dive right now. They just announced the English dubcast, so I'm really excited to actually see that anime with the English dub.
Yeah. As a dragon hatchling, that's that one.
hmm I've
Ooh.
actually been watching it dubbed,
Okay.
sorry, subbed,
Yeah.
not dubbed
I mean, you
yet.
had me at dragons.
hmm
Had me at dragons. Yeah.
It's a fun little story so far. I should see if
Okay.
there's any new episodes. I think there was another one that just got released, or at least it's close to getting released at the time of recording. Not done with the season yet.
Yeah.
no,
But
just
you'd recommend it?
I'd
You'd
recommend
recommend
it so
it?
far. It's been really interesting, especially since he's not overpowered. He had some really
Okay.
tough fights in there, and there's been a couple times when he's almost died already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Just
not
going for
like
the main
he's a
thing.
dragon, but he's not overpowered as a dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he's
Okay.
gonna get to that point, but I've been ever since you pointed out that that's kind of a common trope. I've been noticing it more and more in like these comics and everything that I'm reading that they get too overpowered too quickly. It's just like give them some breathing room,
Yeah,
have
I've
them
heard that.
fail.
Yeah, the only series like that that I've gotten into was that time I got reincarnated as slime with Rimuru, and I enjoy it, but it's only the first one I've ever got into, so I don't have much to compare. But I've heard a lot from friends that that consume more than just the one that I did, and like the vending machine or the
I don't
the
think
girl
vending
that puts everything.
machines.
The girl that puts all her points in defense and it's just like
Oh yeah,
super. But I've heard
Bufori.
like that's the common problem that they all face.
I actually got the voice actress for the main character of that series signature.
Oh,
I could
that's
probably
cool.
go grab it in a moment and show, but
Yeah, show and tell.
yep,
That's
I got
sick.
that along with Terror Strong on the same day.
Whoa. Wow.
Yep.
Blade's so much cooler.
I am not. Okay. So next up, Jack of all trades, Party of None is officially Giga Season 2.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I actually have that on my list because of you. Like, I need to check this out. Blades mentioned it a lot. I need to check it out.
Yeah. There is a bit of overpowerness in that character, but at least he relies on other people as well. It's not just him, and he'll admit that if most of the time he would fail by himself.
Okay.
All right. Next up, something that I said to you: One Piece Chopper is actually supporting MSF now. So if you go, there's a website. It's https www.msf.org/Chopper joins MSF. It shows a couple of little comics of Chopper with the MSF flag, which if anybody doesn't know MSF, it's Medicine Sans Frontières, or Doctors Without Borders. It is a medical group that goes around and goes to different different countries everywhere to try to give medicine and modern day medicine to people who either don't have access to it or can't afford it. It's a really good charity that's been going around for years. One of my favorite events, which I'm wearing a shirt from, is called Games Done Quick. And
ooh, I was hoping you were going to say GDQ.
Yeah, yes. Games Done Quick, which they support two different charities depending on which one they get. I forget which one is which, but it's either Doctors Without Borders or the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yep.
Which both are great charities. So if you like speed runs,
GDQ.
Oh yeah, that'd be a blast. We could go. Yeah. They're actually end up pretty close to me in January, in their awesome Games Done Quick. I think
isn't that where the Mall of America is too?
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up because I was gonna go with a buddy. I think if the stars align on everything, I 100% will go with you.
I'd be interested in going at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love speedrunning. I love watching those events, and I almost every single shirt I have is from them because that's where I get my shirt nowadays to support them.
Yeah.
Anyways, going on. There is a new anime that got announced that I'm aware of. I think there was a second one, but the other one really didn't seem like something I was interested in. Like I read the synopsis of it, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I think it's going into the weird state of anime.
Okay.
But this one sounds a bit nicer, which is magical buffs that support caster is stronger than you realize. That's another thing I've been noticing is that they've been having a lot of support casters like be stupidly OP for some reason. I think they should be.
I was a support main on all the MOBAs I've played. We're OP.
Yeah, I tend to be support main as well.
Nice. Yes.
Yep, on Mortal Warcraft, I was a priest.
Okay. Yeah, I was Thresh on League of Legends a lot. Who was the other phone?
I got kicked out of the support role because I had on League of Legends because my friend wanted to do it. I did get a chance to play it at one point.
A friend then? No, I'm just kidding.
I do pretty good on support on there. I was mainly doing mid for that because that's a position they needed, which is it was hard for me to do.
Who'd you play? And mid.
So I played either Ari or
I knew you were gonna say Ari. I knew it. I was gonna.
Ari's easier to use than the other main I had, which is what I actually paid for when I first started playing. I have to get the fish.
Super safe.
There was a fish one.
Fizz.
Fizz, yes.
Fizz, yes.
Yeah, Fizz.
There he is. Yeah, he's fun.
Yep. I like him, but he is very hard to play. You gotta get his combo right to do decent damage.
Yeah, and he's got good iframes too.
Hmm.
with his the pogo. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's how you escape from most situations. You use that pogo.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, next one I got is Crunchyroll is streaming a anime called Black Torch soon. I think that's gonna be April 2nd, I believe it was. I sort of wrote down the time on my notes, but I forgot to the date.
Okay.
My bad, but it will be starting. You can look it up if you want to. We got the um announcement that the since we're talking about this, the live action One Piece season 2 is ranked number 1 on Netflix globally.
It's a banger.
It They did a
That
really good
is a
job with
good.
it.
Yeah, they did really good.
I would say that I do have some complaints when compared to the actual manga, but I can let it go because they did do a decent job, and I kind of understand some of it not being in. Um,
Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah.
yeah. So the next announcement I have is for Lupin the Third. There's a new movie coming out with that. It's called The Immortal Bloodline, which I don't know if you know anything about Lupin the Third. He's a
Nope.
thief.
Or the second, or the first.
So Lupin the Third was an old school anime, like stupidly old school. Um, where it's a thief group that does some of the most insane episode. Pretty much, they constantly get challenged by inspectors and everything else to try and steal something. Um,
Okay.
it's an interesting series. I like seeing him outsmart people. Um, we got the another thing I showed you. The Devil May Cry tracer trailer
Yes.
for season 2 came out. It looks
Have you
interesting.
did you watch the first one at all?
I have not. It's still on my list.
I think so. I think we should do a review like that together because you know One Piece. I know like I'm still a little bit ahead of where they ended season 2 of One Piece, but I know Devil May Cry from the games and anyway, that'll be a good like contrast to go over, flipping the experience cuz when you go through it, I'll be down to go like rewatch season 1, and go through it with you. I
We
think
could
that would be
probably, when
good.
season
That'd
2
be fun.
comes out, we could dedicate another episode just to that. I'd be down
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Awesome.
By the way, I'm super excited. I know there's a bunch of Devil May Cry hardcore fans that are upset that it's not true to the source, but
It
right,
is
it's the same,
very
and
hard
we're
to
gonna get into,
it's very hard to adapt one media to another. There's always going to be
and
something
they
you're
don't
not going to
have
be
to.
happy about, and it just needs to be consistent with how that media is portraying it.
Right,
So
and it doesn't have to be canon versus not, like, to it, like, it's just its own unique thing with a twist, like, you can dislike some pieces of it because it's not in one continuity, but I liked Devil May Cry season 1 because that's what, has been out, on Netflix. Yes, it's not one continuity. Anyway, I enjoyed it, I don't think it was, like, a spectacular show, but I did enjoy it, like, in general, so, anyway.
fair enough.
Which is kind of related to One Piece, which we're gonna
Yeah,
talk about a little bit.
which I am
So,
done with the news. So
okay, yeah. So, I had pinged Blade and like, hey, because my wife is not a big anime fan, and she sat down and was like, yeah, let's watch this because I was going through what show to watch next with her, and I was like, well, it's based off an anime, but it's live action. And she's like, well, let's try it out. And that was back in season 1. We loved it. Season 2. And so I pinged Blade before this and I go, hey, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but season 2's been out for a little bit now. Have you watched it? And he goes, yes. I go, we need to talk about it.
yeah, that was pretty much the
And
story. I had actually just finished
yeah.
watching season 2 with a friend of mine, and I actually am full on ready to do One Piece talk. So
So let's do this right. I think we haven't ever done it. So this might be the first ever. What would you rate, and we can rate it by season or we can rate it collectively to right now. What would you rate One Piece live action on Netflix? out of 10?
I'd say the biggest problem I had with the season 2 was the CGI for Chopper's human form. That's probably where a lot of
It
my
looks
points are
like a
getting
makeup,
deducted.
a guy in a suit. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks so weird, and it looks like it's
It does look a
it
little
hits your
off-putting.
uncanny valley moment. It's just like,
But Chopper is so cute.
yes,
He is so adorable in the live
in his
action.
hybrid form, he looks super cute, and I love how they did that. But they
Yes.
need to work on his human form a bit because that CGI just
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So out of 10, I'd probably give it about a 9.
I
They
was gonna say 10.
oh
I think
really?
it's spectacular. I love it.
It
Yeah.
is
As
really
far as
good. I
we're
like.
talking TV shows. Yes.
I also think I have a bit of bias in there because I have been super into the manga and anime for a bit, so I just always jump off and back in to watch or read it.
Yeah, it's probably a huge contrast for you to go from, because you're pretty deep into the manga or anime, whatever you're consuming, but you're way ahead of where they're at in the live action. I'm like right before Luffy's about to fight Crocodile. So I'm not that much further ahead of them. I actually thought they were going to catch up when we were going through and watching it. I'm like, oh, it might end like right before they're going to fight, and it
There's
didn't.
a lot of people wondering. So I like how one person put it. Alabasta is a
Alabasta, yeah,
stupidly long arc.
it is
And trying
like
to,
unnecessarily.
if they go through, so season 1 of this ended just before Logtown.
Yeah.
In the name of that town, but the place where Goldie Roger was executed.
Yep.
So they would have to fit into 8 episodes that town, everything that happened there. They need to put in Laboon because everybody would be upset if they did not have Laboon in there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Broke works.
Broke works. They might have been able to skip some of Whiskey Town, but still, there was a lot in there that people loved. So, of course, people wanted to have Whiskey Town. But and Drum Kingdom wasn't necessary because that's where they get Chopper. And they would have to go through all of that, then jump into the Alabasta arc, and just like, we are now trying to get this a bit too long. I would have to cut way too much out for it to be a decent 8-episode live action series, and I'm actually appreciating that they did stop it just before there.
Yeah, because there's a lot that happens, right? And I know, yes, it's definitely a slog. We're gonna, I would imagine, meet Ace, right, sometime in the middle of all that.
Yep,
And
we should meet Ace at the beginning of it, I think.
Yeah,
probably in the next episode or two, we'll get to see Ace.
Yeah. So who, and this could be anyone, it doesn't have to be Luffy's crew. Who, like, what character in the series are you like, they did that character perfectly? Whether
Zoro.
it's the design, the acto. Really? You think
Zoro? They've nailed Zoro for the most part.
Okay. I was gonna say Luffy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really think they did a good
I
job.
want to see more action from Luffy. They've cut a lot of his combat down way too much. And I understand why.
It seem like he's not that strong.
Yeah.
They don't really show a lot of feats for him.
So people pointed out this is that he is probably the most expensive character to animate. I mean, you got Sanji who just kicks a lot. You got Zoro who has swords. They got Luffy who stretches halfway across the world to punch someone. So it makes sense that they're kind of cutting down their the Luffy fights. Because it's just so expensive. But there's been a lot of times where I feel like I think they could have done some parts better, like especially with the fight against Mr. 3, in particular with Luffy at the end.
Yep.
Him in that field where Mr. 3 hid his body among a bunch of mannequins of himself. Luffy punches him first try in the manga. Like, he doesn't try to punch all these people. He just goes straight for him. And when he asks, how did you know? He says, instincts. And people were pointing out that that's actually his observation hockey that let him know what it was.
Oh.
And that was kind of that was one of the foreshadowings of hockey. And it's like, why couldn't we have that in there? That would have been a cool moment for him. But no, instead he's going around trying to punch all these mannequins. I just like, no, that's not how this works. And that was another thing that I kind of missed was in the Mr. 3 fight. They didn't do. He actually made this whole armor for himself out of his wax to fight against Luffy, and that was actually a major bit. And it actually ended up being that Luffy used, if I remember correctly, Luffy used wax to actually destroy his own the other wax.
Yeah.
So, and I missed that section. I'm just like, ah. But Miss Golden Week, they definitely added a lot to, and I was kind of happy that they did. It was nice to see Miss Golden Week putting on a bit more into the show than they did in the manga. Because literally, Miss Golden Week was really there. She did do the color thing, but not quite as heavily. She wasn't quite as psychotic and didn't go into her backstory or anything in the manga.
Yeah. She was scary.
Oh yeah, she was. They made her psychotic.
Yeah.
It was.
I was terrified for Luffy.
I was actually really happy that they did that because now it made her look more of a threat. Because in Baroque works, the higher number you are, the stronger you are, and when you're paired with someone, they're usually of equal caliber. And Mr. 3 is number 3 in line.
Yep.
And they kind of point this out during the next arc, but Mr. 3 was number 3, not necessarily because of his strength, but because of how cunning he was. Mr. 4 was technically stronger, but he's completely dumb when we meet him.
Yeah. What did you think with the why am I forgetting his name? The guy with the big metal mouth. Wapple?
Walpole.
Yeah, what did you think about the fight that Luffy had in the Netflix series against him? I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was just okay.
It was that great. Yeah.
They definitely did a lot more in the manga. I think that's one of the areas that they kind of cut down was a lot of what happened from. I am super happy though the backstory for Chopper, Hilux story.
Yes.
They nailed that. I was actually super impressed by it. And it did make me cry. I'm like, I know what happened, but I'm just like, oh. I kind of wanted to skip the episode just because I knew what would happen, but I'm like, I gotta watch it.
Oh yeah, I was watching it with my wife who doesn't know anything about One Piece other than what we've watched, and like we were like in the middle of it, like she was like, "This is so sad." This is like, yeah. But so as a new viewer, she got to experience it as I would imagine you want it to be, because they did a great job nailing the backstory to Chopper of how he got to be where he is, and why he thinks the way he does.
I mean, they made it. It was slightly modified, but it wasn't enough that I cared. Yeah, I think some of the minor changes I did was technically when he died, he was outside in the courtyard of the castle. He never got inside the castle. And they didn't do his scene. He actually, after he found out that the doctors were fine, he actually sat down with a sake cup, and that Jake something that made him explode from there. In the manga.
Oh, yeah,
because he was. I think there was an inner monologue or something. I don't remember exactly if he was saying this or not. But I remember reading in there. I will not die from the poisonous fruit, nor will I die from your guns. I go out the way I want to.
Okay. It's a good line.
Hyluck is... Yeah. We also didn't get to see a whole lot of how bad of a doctor Hyluck actually was, because he was bad. He was a terrible doctor, but he had a lot of heart, which is the reason why Chopper liked him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. What is a character that they did the worst on?
Good question. I don't think they did terrible with Luffy. They're just... My whole thing is that I wanted to see more action scenes with them. I think that's a general thing. he's not feeling as strong as he should be, but I don't think they did a terrible job with Luffy.
Yeah.
I think probably Whirlpool. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think the makeup that they did with Whirlpool was amazing, and the way they did
That was good.
his.
I kept trying to look for his actual mouth and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, they actually painted his whole. I actually saw some of the makeup. They did a sword somewhere where it shows him
Mhm.
up from like his nose down was just covered in black makeup, and they did
Yeah.
the mouth and everything in such a way they cannot see his mouth, and it's actually
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. No, look good. Every time I'm like, is there anything? No, I can't tell. Dang it.
Yeah, even when he was like when he has his mouth fully open, you could not see it. They did
Yeah.
such a good job on that makeup,
Yep.
and I'll give that
Yeah.
to them. That was amazing. Oh, I know. I'm forgetting his name. The commander on the island that he has the ox fruit.
Is that Smoker?
No, Booker has
Oh.
different fruit.
I don't know.
He's now the king of Drum Island. I'm just trying to blank his name.
Dalton?
Dalton, yes. I think
Oh,
they could have
yeah,
done a
for sure.
lot more with him, and I was actually kind of sad.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I thought, from what I remember, and I haven't read that specific part in several years, so I'm definitely rusty on everything. But I felt like he did good for what it was trying to portray. But I don't really like have a big comparison of like, well, did he remain, true to like what is the source material on top of what they're trying to portray? Like, some combination of that. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. Why didn't you like him? Like, and maybe like he's still great, but like as far as
Yeah,
picking,
we're slim pickings because I think they did a great job with almost all the characters, and especially in the time frame that they had. But I
yeah,
would like to see more of his zone abilities come out because we only saw him
okay,
transform once, and he actually
yeah,
transforms a
that's true.
lot more in the actual manga and the fights. There were they definitely did a lot more fighting in there. Although honestly,
Yeah,
in the drum arc in the manga, Zoro was useless. They had Zoro keep an eye on the ship, and he was literally just there pretty much the whole time. And he decides to go to swim. They ends up lost, and I am happy
yeah,
that they don't have Zoro getting lost nearly as much. But he has really
yeah,
like it's a common joke all through One Piece that if Zoro's not fighting, it's because he's lost.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
that's
know. I've
usually
seen
what.
those memes everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I would have to really sit there and look through the cast to pick somebody that I felt like was in the worst. I don't know. I felt like I loved everyone for the most part. I definitely had favorites, but I don't think I was like, because like what you said, slim pickings. Like I don't think I could just go, oh, easily this. Like I'd have to just pick out a hat. I think because I love Sanji. I love Sanji that he's not just a weird perv. Like he's definitely heavily influenced by women. That's how they get into cuffs.
hmm
But he's not like obnoxiously weird.
yeah, he's much worse than the manga.
I know, and it's like kind of obnoxious, at least for me as a newer consumer of it, because it's
Well, that's kind of his thing of
like
why he doesn't fight in certain things. It's just, oh, Sanji can't attack a girl. Oh, Sanji can't do this and that.
right,
And it's they always have some quirk of a reason why the characters aren't in
my
every single
hero.
fight. Different type of quirk.
Yeah, different character. Yeah, yeah.
I
No, it's
think
fair.
it
I
kind of
yes,
it gives them a good human feeling because they're not perfect. Each one of them has a weakness. Even
for
Luffy has a
sure.
big weakness as well. Like he is
Yep,
naive as all heck.
yep.
That's
Yeah, I didn't.
I think that's one reason why
What was
One Piece is so good is because none of these guys are perfect, and as a team they work out. But individually, you can see
huge
these guys
variety?
easily be destroyed.
Yeah, yeah, huge variety. Yeah, I loved the Zoro versus 100 people scene. I will admit, like there was it's 100 people, so he's fighting for a long time. But like if I was to go split any hairs on that, like obviously it felt kind of like long after a while, but like it wasn't like it wasn't filled with creative ways he's killing people, like
And so
he's everywhere. He's going up floors, he's chasing
he's
whatever that
going
guy's
he's
number was
going
again.
across really thin lines and everything. Yeah, they did a really good
Yeah.
job animating that. I'm really happy that we didn't get the fight with. So in the manga, there's this stupid fight with Luffy and Zoro because Zoro's the only one
Oh, I
fighting through
remember
that
this.
whole. In the manga, everybody's asleep except for Zoro, and Zoro ends up going in killing all 100, and then Luffy wakes up and sees everybody, and all he gets out of one of them is Zoro, and for some
And he
reason
thinks he's a
Luffy just
murderer or something, right?
completely flips on Zoro. It's like, why'd you kill all these nice people? And starts fighting. It didn't make any sense, but
Yeah.
I was really happy not to
Yeah.
see
I
that.
think I
But
remember that.
speaking of Whiskey Island, there is one scene that we didn't get that I would have loved to see, which
Yeah.
was
What?
towards the end of it. Ingram, the guy with the curly hairs. Looks like that guy. Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually the captain of the guard in the Alabasta Kingdom, as mentioned in there. And he decides to dress up as Vivi with some dolls to try to make them think that Princess Vivi's going somewhere else. He tries to drag Baroque away while Vivi goes with the Straw Hats. And of course, that doesn't get too far. He actually dies. He comes back. I'm not sure if he's going to come back in this one or not, but Nico Robin was the one who actually killed. For what I understand, the reason why he came back is because Nico Robin, who was a bad guy at the time, killed him off screen, and it became Nico Robin becomes good, so he can't have anybody. Oda has this thing that all the good guys don't necessarily kill their opponents; they just knock them out or make them incapacitated in some way.
Okay.
So Oda wanted to bring Ingram back because then Nico Ramen never kills anyone.
Ooh, so there's always potential for all these people.
Yeah, but this time, Ingram did not get killed off by Nico Robin. I'm not sure if they're going to bring him back or not.
Yeah. Okay. What about Nami?
Nami's pretty well. I mean, at this point in time, she really doesn't do a whole lot. Like even in the manga, like she hasn't gotten her. Actually, Alabaster's when she gets her first version of the Climatat, which is her major weapon. I'm not sure how they can animate that because that was just a lot of tricks. I'm actually looking forward to that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Nami. I think I'd have to rewatch season 1, but I felt like what I remember of season 1, because that was mostly about not just about her, but when she was in the state that she was with who's the shark fish guy?
Oh, you're talking about Arlong.
Yeah, so she's like, locked into whatever deal with him, and then Luffy goes and handles business. But I felt like for that, from what I remember, she did a really good job, playing that part, which is highly emotional that she's going through and finally asks for help.
She did such a good job that the people of town despised her.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the people of town actually knew what was going on and they despised her because they didn't want to let Arlong know that she was saving up an insane amount of money. But she was in the manga. She didn't quite have the 1,000,000 berries, but she was really close to it. I think it was 1,000,000 berries or something like that.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
Yeah, until that stupid rat of a marine officer came and took it.
Yeah, I thought it was something that they something was like she didn't quite hit it, but was going to, and I felt like Arlong. Maybe I'm mixing up the live action versus the manga, but I felt like he had something to do with it.
Yeah, he paid off the marine officer to take the money.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
In both versions.
Yeah. Okay. So that
He
was
was
weird.
never intending to sell it off, and he never intended to let Nami go.
Yep. What a jerk.
He was a
Who
jerk.
else we got?
Was,
Oh, what about Usopp?
Usopp's another one that we don't really see a whole lot of power from. I don't. One of the things I have a problem with, actually, even in the manga, is that Usopp still hasn't gotten stupidly overpowered. Like all the other ones have gotten something of a power up at some point, and Usopp's one of the ones that hasn't gotten a super big power up. And they're thinking Albath, he will. I hope he does.
Okay.
Which Albath's the current island they're on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. But they did
I
a
think
good
he does
job
a
with
good
them.
job
And
portraying. Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
one of the things
He
I
does a
want to
good
point
job as
out
Usopp, but it's Usopp.
is the stories that he tells. A lot of people pointing out that in the manga series, a lot of the stories that he's told over the time actually are happening in the actual storyline. And he mentions
Oh.
fighting a mole in the actual live action, and that happens at Alabasta. Alabasta.
Oh.
He fights a
Okay, I love
mole with
talking with you on this. I
Chopper.
get to find out all these nuggets that I didn't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of little tidbits there, and
Yeah.
it's kind of amazing. And one of the things, couple little things. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of season 2 at this point. In the Log Town, whatever it's called. I am
Yeah.
terrible with the names. I remember I constantly called it Log Town. I think in the live action they call it Log Town or something like that.
Yep.
So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not the best at pronouncing things. I am only
Yep.
human. I do not have any
We are
magical
here to talk
powers.
about it. We are not good at reading.
There's quite a few differences in there. Like one of the first ones is Bartholomew, which we don't see. We don't meet him until after the time skip, which there's a time skip that happens later on. Most people know
Yep.
about at this point. And he is he's one of the biggest fans of Luffy. And they did a little backstory of when when the bolt hits Bucky while he's trying to execute Luffy.
Yep.
He was actually in the crowd that day, and he just sees that and he just immediately becomes like a Luffy stan. Like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
And
So there's a reason they put him there.
Yeah, he was there, but they didn't in the actual manga. You don't see him because he was kind of retconned in later on.
Yeah.
But at this point, since they already know he's in there, he's like, "Oh, let's just add him in, make him more prominent of a character, make it so that he's the one giving Luffy the tour." But he's a member of a thief. He's like the head of a thief group there, or something like that, if I remember correctly.
I heard he's not even good because Nami catches him.
No, he's not really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also had a few little tidbits in there. Like if you actually watched when Luffy got, not Luffy, when Usopp got his little goggles.
Yeah.
There's a little side story there that happened in the anime where he had to go through a sniping challenge against someone to get the goggles. And it was based on a little girl who was getting the goggles for her dad. And the little girl was the one. If you look at it, the little girl was messing around with the headset before Usopp gets it. That was a little callback to that.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, this will be fun for when we get to the incentive goal, and then I will go consume it and be like,
yes, that's what that's from. Yeah, you might want to take a second look through it because there is a lot of callbacks. I was like, oh, I know that, I know that. There's so many times where I'm just like, oh, that's a callback. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's exciting because that was me during Devil May Cry season 1, which we'll talk about when we go through season 2. But like all those little nuggets, and you're like, oh, ooh, I know you. You're on this. This is this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else did I not mention? We went through Nami a little bit. We went through Usopp, Chopper. Chopper, I can't wait. I want to buy a little plush of that. He is so cute.
They definitely nailed the cuteness in his hybrid form.
Yeah, he is adorable. And then Sandy, we talked about.
I actually am looking for
Zoro. I'm with you. I love Zoro.
There's
Yeah,
one
I think
thing
that's
about Chopper that kind of got me upset in that fight. Was in the actual manga, we got to see his the rumble balls. You know that at the end of it, the Chopper pulls out
the jar.
the jar. Those are called rumble
Yeah.
balls. And
Okay.
he pops one in and eats it. He gets 6 different transformations instead of just 3. And we didn't get to see a
Ooh.
single one of those extra transformations,
You
which made me
can't
sad.
no, you can't show all your cards.
We
Yeah.
should see it in the it probably was a budget limitation because they actually have a massive budget for this series, but after everything's said and done, and with makeup and all this extra stuff that they're doing for this to make it look like the actual world, it's
Yeah.
costing them an arm and a leg to do most of that. That they don't have a lot of money for the CG. So
Yeah.
now they have a character in CG, which I want to point out is that later on, people are pointing out that that's the reason why we don't get a lot of fights with Luffy, which is the reason why I'm kind of excited for when they go fight CP0. Because at that point, Luffy gets that's when Luffy gets his gear system, and his gear 2 is what he does what's called jet attacks, which is attacks that people can't see. So they should be able to animate and have him be a lot more active at that point. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. There you
I'm hoping
go.
they focus more on his jet attacks, so they don't have to do a lot more with Luffy's basic attacks.
The stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, it just gonna suck when he goes into Gear 3, which that's when he gets the big arm that he moves all around his body.
He gets the SpongeBob arms when he's, pumping up.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's see. Another one. Nico Robin.
Yeah,
I think she was great.
their introduction to Nico Robbins has been interesting because Nico Robbins has been kind of like the big bad enemy in there. And if people don't know One Piece, they're gonna think that she's evil, completely evil, with a lot of things that she does. Like she was kind of the looming threat in this season. I love it.
Yeah. No, yeah. And then she's like, yeah, she comes in and out all the time just because she can, which is so like so much aura because how can you go on their boat and just, oh, don't worry, and then just put them all in check and then leave and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing they can do, literally nothing they can do the whole time. And then she sees Zoro and talks with him for a second, and it's like so
I think
scary.
while watching it, there was only one scene that I was like, "What? What? Why did they do this? This doesn't make any sense in this story." And that since we're talking about Nico Robin, it's when Nico Robin gives Whirlpool his devil fruit, because we never
Yeah.
knew when he got his devil fruit, but it was constantly kind of hinted that he's had it for a long time, and we kind of thought, oh, he had it when he was originally king of Drum Island, and and this what kind of threw that on his head. It's like, no, he got it from Crocodile and Nico Robin, and it's just like, that's kind of iffy. I am kind of happy that Whirlpool's now having because Whirlpool was kind of like a side threat. They were still going to Alabasta, and they were trying to were trying to go after the head of Baroque Works.
Yep.
At this point,
Yeah, that was a whole side quest.
Yeah, it was literally just a side quest. It was kind of a side quest just to get the doctor.
Yes, exactly.
It's like we need to throw in a doctor because they're gonna get sick and they're gonna have all these issues. It's like, okay, well, let's throw in our doctor. So there were he really didn't have anything to do with Baroque Works. He was just kind of there because he wanted to retake the kingdom that he ran away from when there was even the slightest amount of threat because he really thinks so little of his citizens.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's kind of nice that they put him in and be like, oh, he was actually giving Crocodile a lot of money to help out the Baroque Works, so that he can eventually get back his kingdom. He's trying to get Crocodile to help fight off the Blackbeard pirates.
Yep.
So I think that was a nice added.
They mentioned that too. I liked hearing, Blackbeard at least by name because it's like you would assume he's in the world, but at least hearing his name.
Yeah, he would always be starting to get a name out for himself. Which he did already have So we meet him at the beginning of the just before they got to Skypiea, and
Yeah.
he's trying to get a name for himself, and he wants to get someone with a huge bounty. And I think Crocodile just got defeated, and we have yet to see the bounty increases from that. So they're trying to find someone with a really big bounty, and Luffy's like, "Oh, I have 1.5 billion berries bounty." Everybody's laughing at that because people there with like 3 or 5 billion berries or something like that. Was it that high? No, it wasn't even that high at that point. No, he was only at like 100 something thousand berries. Sorry, I'm thinking later on. I literally just read the point where he got put up to 1.5 billion. I'm sorry.
Big difference than
yeah, we're in the 100,000 at this point. I think he just got at that point he gets brought up to like 500 million berries or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big thing there to the point that teacher's like, "Oh, I'm going after him now." And while they were chasing after, it was when they get to Skypiea. But that's when we actually first meet the Blackbeard pirates, and they just mentioned in the Drum Island that a pirate company came around originally, and Whirlpool ran away pretty much immediately.
Yeah. Yep. Can't blame him.
No.
Considering who was.
Yeah, especially if it, I can full up believe that the Blackbeard pirates did that. They're not a good crew.
Yeah. What do you think about Princess Vivi?
So I have one complaint about Princess Vivi is that we don't get to see her companion. What was his name? She mentions it, but in the actual in the manga, the companion is with her the whole time. It's a bird, a duck.
Oh yeah,
Kuro, I believe.
Ducks are so big you can ride them. I've never seen a duck that big.
Yep. So
that's right.
In the actual manga, I'm trying to find the name. Yeah, it's Kuro. It's Kuro.
Maybe that was a budget thing too.
Probably because they don't get nearly as many of the animal companions out there. Like there's this big scene where we got when we originally had Bucky. One of their team. Remember he was mentioning "Where's the lion?" That was because one of the characters there actually had a pet lion that he was riding around on and fighting everybody with, and all of a sudden that's gone. We had another Whirlpool was riding around on a hippo. We got onto the island, and that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
and it's just one of the things of we're losing all of our animal companions. Please have us at least have us have Carol when we hit the when we actually hit Alabaster. I really hope so because they actually Kuro's part of a specialized unit of birds, and they make what was the name of it? Super Spot Build Duck Troops. And I really hope we get to see them because they actually do play a big part in the final battle.
Ooh. So then we can go, what the duck?
Yeah, I want to see the ducks. I want to see the ducks. Yeah. I really want to see those ducks. Before we lost out so many of the animal companions, please don't take away our ducks.
This is like a weird thing. Or maybe random is the word. Maybe not weird. Isn't like Chopper and Zoro like good buds? Like especially in Alabasta, where like he's like he puts him on his shoulders to help.
That is Chopper's favorite seat. So yeah, they're good buds.
Yeah,
I think the only.
So I'm excited to see that because Zoro's so chill, and then Chopper just being so cute. Like I'm excited to see their friendship. In the next season.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of Chopper friendship grow with the group. It's going to be nice.
Yeah,
I think the only like major fighting we ever see is between Zoro and Sanji. They're the only ones with the major hate against each other for some reason. Yeah, it's more of a rivalry.
That dinosaur scene was hilarious. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but the fact that they keep bringing it up, and he's like, "Oh, well, like it'd be easy to kick him because I cut him apart." And he's like, "Oh, what do you mean? He's not moving. That's how you kick. That's how you cut him." So funny. Like the constant bickering is, I love it.
They constantly have
It's
like
perfect.
competitions going on to try to prove who's the strongest in the crew and all this stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
At the right times, they do
Yep.
fight, and they're not so petty that they let that get away of an actual problem. They do work
Yeah.
together quite often
Exactly.
as well. But um,
Yep. They remind me of like Legolas and Gimli in Lord of the Rings where they're measuring like, "Well, I killed this guy. Well, I'm at 50.
that's
Oh,
probably a
well,
good
I'm
way
at
to put it.
30."
Yeah, they have a nice rivalry because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we
I
don't
love
get
that.
that scene in the manga. So that's like slightly different. I understand why they changed it for this one because this kind of doesn't always make sense. Well, it makes sense in that form, but it also be a much more budget to do what they actually did in the manga, which is they split up and had a competition to see who could bring the most meat back. And
Yeah.
so ends up being pretty much a draw.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay.
hilarious at the end because that's actually what you, Dory and Gory. They've been fighting for so long.
I also love them, by the
Yeah,
way.
they were the
They
Giants.
were
They did an amazing job with the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. That was so good.
But yeah,
Anyway,
they.
sorry.
You remember how they said they've been fighting so long that they can't remember what started this fight?
Yeah.
When they see that happen, they actually do remember what caused it, which was they were both fishing and they both got one of these super big fish that are in the ocean that they talk about the calm belt, that they had these super fish there they
Yeah.
got to go through. Um, and they were like, "Oh yeah," they both caught one. They're like, "Oh." They were with their crew and everybody's like, "Oh, our people are the greatest." And this little girl comes up to them, this little tiny girl, and it's like, "So which one's bigger?" And they go, "Huh? Which one's bigger?" They look at each other, look at the fish. It's obviously mine. No, it's obviously
Yeah.
mine, and it's about the same size, and it ends up being a.
Yeah.
That's what starts this argument. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yep. Competition that you didn't realize you cared about until someone points it out.
Yep.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That's the
Yeah,
reason
no,
why.
I love that whole thing with the Giants. That was so good, and they're so like the actors. You could tell they're like really good because like you can tell they're expressing like how genuine they are, right? Like, oh, Lord of Destruction or whatever they called Usopp. Like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness, like
I love
totally buttering him
some
up.
of the names that Usopp gets later on as well. It's hilarious. He's
Yeah,
just constantly growing with names and everything. Like right now, they call him God Usopp.
yeah, yes. I've seen that when I've done like random versus matchups and Usopp would come up and I didn't know the meme and people would be like, "Oh God, Usopp wipes," and or wins or whatever, and I'm like, "What?" And I'm too like trying to be logical. I'm not in the memes yet, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"What does he do that makes it so strong later?"
Usopp is like the weakest character and one of the weaker characters on the crew, but at the
Right.
same time, he has like he gets such interesting moments in there that just how the heck does he get these nicknames?
Yeah. Yeah. Love me a good meme. I just gotta catch up on all of them.
Yeah.
That's like what's his name? He's from One Punch Man. Moomin Rider or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like another one I saw. Anyway, memes are hilarious.
Yeah, they
Send
are.
us memes. Zoro getting lost. Uh,
Zoro's
okay,
always getting
go
lost.
on.
There's a bunch of memes
Yep.
of Zoro just getting lost into other animes. He's like, "Where am I?"
Yeah, he doesn't even belong there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, what is he doing here? Yeah. Yeah. I
Only
don't know if you have any
Zoro.
more questions or thoughts on One Piece, the Netflix series that you want to go on. I just wanted to go through it, like what we liked, what we didn't like. I gave it 10 out of 10. I think it's amazing. I could sit and rewatch it over and over. It's super fun.
It's definitely worth multiple watches because they hide so many things in the background. I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos of people just pointing out all the Easter eggs and everything in there. It's amazing to go through.
Ooh, that'll be fun. Yeah, maybe I need to do that. Or maybe I don't. And then when I get around
Yeah,
to
I just
doing
about to
it,
say maybe you
I'll
should
be
actually read it so you can actually see the Easter eggs.
that's true. I don't
Although
want
some of
yeah,
them
I
that they
know
mentioned I didn't even
spoilers, but I don't know what
catch.
they mean.
Yeah.
Mm. Might have to make a game of it later. Be like, I'm sure there's a website out there of like, in this scene, there's 5 Easter eggs. Can you find them? And then you're like, oh, let me see.
They definitely did. They've done a
Cool. What?
great job with this series, though, even with the changes they made. Like, I am not super upset.
Yeah.
Like I said, the one scene I had a bit of an issue with was the scene where Wolpole gets his devil fruit. But
Yeah.
overall, they've done an amazing job with this series and adapting a super long anime into short bursts, and they haven't cut out enough that I was like, oh, this they definitely messed up here. They've like been cutting out
Yeah.
just what they need to. A lot of the fat
Yep.
that was in the series that didn't need to be there, and I've been
Yeah.
really impressed with it. I've also loved talking about one of the things I forgot to mention that I really loved was in this when Zoro's running around killing the 100 Baroque work members. Um, you had Mihawk, like an image of Mihawk from Zoro's head, pretty much telling
Yeah.
him he needs to step it up if he wants to face him. It's really nice seeing that from Zoro because we never get to see Mihawk, so it's like we still get to see the character now, and just Zoro
Yeah.
trying to
That's his
face it in his head.
inspiration.
And I think that was
Yeah.
amazing. That was such a brilliant thing to bring back in.
That was good. Yeah, he's not on screen a lot, but he's definitely, messing with Zoro's head of like, you're nowhere near. What are you going to do about it to get there? Right.
Hmm.
And at least displaying it better than, oh, this is why he's lifting weights all the time or swinging the sword. Like now he has someone direct to point that to and be like, I need to get better than Mihawk. That's the
I'm
guy.
actually so time skip. What actually Zoro? So they each get kind of a mentor during the time skip, and Zoro's mentor they actually gets to trade with is Mihawk. And
Yep.
I really am excited for when that happens because we learned a lot. And Mihawk's not he's not a terrible guy. He kind of does his own thing, and he's happy with just being there, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm super excited what's to come. Again, there's a lot I know that I don't necessarily know about One Piece. But I'm excited for like the next step with like eventually more Shanks, more Mihawk, more of like the connection to like the generation before, essentially, and piecing that all together as the pirate crew levels up, I guess I'll say, in everything. Skill, personality, everything. I'm super excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the sad things that someone pointed out is technically the live action does have a finite lifespan because
I heard that.
there's a lot
Yeah, they have
that.
a plan on what arc they want to end at, but they won't say why or what yet. So
Mhm. I'm not sure when that's going to
there's
be, but
yeah.
I understand that there's a finite lifespan for this, and
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see where that has and what happened.
Yep. Yeah.
But so far, they've been
Cool.
really nailing it. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
fans
just
of
keep
One Piece,
setting it
like
up.
people, fans of One Piece are constantly like, well, they did kind of a poor job with this, but overall they've just been great. I don't think I've had one
Yeah.
necessarily really bad review on this. I've heard a lot of really good things, even from fans, even from people who know the all the Easter eggs that I didn't catch. They're like overall, like there is some questionable things that they did, but overall it's been a really great retelling of this story.
Yeah, and that's so great when you have different adaptations, right? Like there's so many out there that I've only heard negative things on. Like Halo. I never
Oh.
watched it because I just heard bad things. So as much as I'm a Halo fan, I was just like, well, I'm not gonna go get a subscription for this thing only to watch this if it's negative.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the season 2 of Lord of the Rings and with The Witcher without Henry Cavill, right? And like I don't know all the super duper source of The Witcher, but I liked what I saw with Henry Cavill. And maybe it's the internet and I'm just letting it, decide for me. But like, I mean, if you want the viewer's time, like it has to be good. Like you need to stay true to the source material to some point because that's what got you the budget in the first place. But in the end, if you can change things around and it's still great, like I'm for it. Like if I don't like it, I can go back to the original material. That's
Yeah,
what got me to be a fan
because
in that case.
like Oda even wants to go back to change some of the things because he's definitely retconned some things or uh like made
Yeah.
minor changes. Like
Yeah,
he's
because he
done
was a part of this.
he did a
Yeah.
lot on trying to Oda was a lot of part of this, and they constantly will. They were constantly seeing him the stories and be like, "Is this okay? Does this fit with your vision?" And then even
Yeah.
he would kind of went back. He's like, "Yeah, there was a lot of things that he kind of he did like soft retcons. He's never done a hard retcon, but things like
Yeah.
Bartholomew being in the crowd, that was a soft retcon, something that you could see being there and not
Yep.
really noticing." Um, and there's
Yeah.
been a couple other things like that where he's never really did a hard retcon, but you could see things kind of slightly changing as the story
Yeah.
progresses. And it's just like,
Especially for how long it's been,
oh
right?
yeah,
Like dialing back, decades at this point to be
yeah. When
like,
did the
oh
first
yeah,
One Piece
I was
start?
thinking this, but I learned this.
Chapter of Peace State. It was started in
Excuse me.
1997.
Yep, I was thinking 20 years. Yeah, so he's got a lot of time to be like, well, I know all these things now because this is the way I went. Here's how I would do it a little different today.
It's almost 30 years
Yeah.
now. It'll be 30 years next year. Like crud.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah. Yep. I'm
Is
excited.
in issue number
Give me
34
more.
of Japan's weekly Shonen Jump. What are they at now? Oh boy. But yeah, One Piece has been around for a very long time.
Been around the block. Just kidding.
I'm still technically older than that, unfortunately.
Me too. It's okay.
But it is insane how long this has gone. Chapters we got.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I think next projects we got coming out for sneak peeks for everyone listening is Chainsaw Man. Blade is going to figure out how he can get through it as quick as possible while also still retaining it, right? We don't want to just go glaze over and go, yeah, I completed
Yeah,
it.
I'm
We
not
want to
speed
be able to
reading
talk
these.
about
I'm
it in
actually going to
depth.
read it. So
Yeah, exactly. So that's something we got going on. Um, Devil May Cry is supposed to be coming out. I think it's supposed to come out like in May. So like keep an eye out for that. Or maybe it's March. No, it can't be March. Anyway,
I'm just gonna say we're almost
stuff
done with March
stuff
unless we're
coming
talking
up.
about next year.
Yeah, sorry. I'm all over the place. Anyway, so yeah, that's stuff to keep an eye out for and we're gonna spend a good time talking through these different things. So make sure you are checking us out all over the place wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on YouTube where we're also putting a bunch of different videos as well. Um, and Blade, you wanna kick us out?
Sure.
Anything you
So
want to add?
if you're watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out.
Yep.
We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we could get Digital Tees to start reading through some One Piece chapters, get through some of the initial
Yep.
arcs. And we are also on all other almost everything out there. Like if you can listen to us on Spotify. Have we gotten onto Apple? I can't remember if we got that taken care of.
We're on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. I think that's everything podcast wise.
We also
But
have a
yeah,
Discord server. We're trying to get more people to come on to join us on there, and we're hoping to eventually start having little get-togethers, groups to chat about things and hang out.
yeah,
On our
be
future
fun.
list, and we're trying to get a bunch of like-minded people who love manga and anime much as we do. So if that's you, please join us
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you in the next one.
Yep. See you guys then. Bye.